Andrade served again. Plummer off the block again. Catherine Plummer 4 for 4.
Exactly, I was going to say exactly that. She passed that ball, the ball was out of system, but still able to get a kill. She creates offense with her size and power.
Last time around, Plummer missed her serve. You can see why we called it a good break for Bakersfield. An ace this time.
Yeah, you think, okay, we can relax. Catherine Plummer's in the back row, but she's one of the best servers in the country. She gets a lot of points when she's in that serving position.
Again, down the line, well handled. Ball is going over. Oh, it hit the scoreboard, but the Roadrunners stayed with it to the end.
I love the cover and the hustle from the Roadrunners. Watch Lopes run that down, and then Georgievich tries to get it over.
Plummer down the line, taken by the middle. Sukov swing off the block.
Desiree Sukov, that's her second kill using that big block that's in front of her. Not hitting that low seam. Smart swings by Sukov.
We showed you the hitting numbers for the year. Stanford right now hitting under 200 in this match. Bakersfield staying close. Jenna Gray out to McClure to the deep corner.
Megan McClure flat to the corner with power. She's gotten so much more confident offensively swinging. Just knows where to put that ball.
Gonna watch that play all develop within 3 feet. Everybody jammed in the side.
In Adriana Fitzmaurice, number 12 in white, she has been extremely strong defensively at the net, just patrolling. Her defensive numbers the last 2 weeks in conference have been amazing.
Hence serves again to the little area. Same play, same set, same block. One-on-one, but the one is big.
That is certain. Wow. As a setter, you want to isolate your hitters one-on-one, but that time 6'7" Moretta Lutz way over the net for the Stanford block. This is the isolation one-on-one, but Moretta Lutz drops that left hand and shuts down the angle. Beautiful block move.
8-point lead for Stanford in set number 1. And Holly, for Bakersfield, they're really staying in there, passing well. It's just a matter of the kill ball from Stanford.
Yeah, and the block. The block has been a factor so far, but if Bakersfield can pass the ball and isolate and stay aggressive offensively, they can stay in this match and battle back and forth. They're holding Stanford to a 235, well below their season average.
Here's a little bit more about Cal State Bakersfield, the Roadrunners, led by Giovanna Mello. They started volleyball in 1976. We told you this is their second NCAA tournament appearances. They got a couple of wrestlers and fighters. They're going to see if these Roadrunners have the same fight as Tito Ortiz and Stephen Neal.
And Cal State Bakersfield has done a good job both with beach volleyball and indoor volleyball, really making a push in the volleyball world, and that's a credit to Giovanna Mello.
Yeah, and Cesar Bernardi,
exactly.
Who is the assistant on this team. Over talking with Giovanna Mello now, is the head coach of the beach team. Morgan Hentz serving. She's the Pac-12 Libero of the Year. Over 4 digs per set in conference play. You see the service from Stanford is really tough. They're moving it around a bunch, and now Lutz is finishing.
Stanford passed that ball tight to the net. Jenna Gray elevated and put that ball in a beautiful spot to set up Moretta Lutz for her first kill on 7 swings.
And that big block from Lutz before the timeout, and then the kill afterwards.
And that is the area right there for Megan McClure where her block has really improved. She's doing a good job setting up that block, and Adriana Fitzmaurice closing to her. You see Megan McClure on the outside of that Stanford block.
7 blocks for Stanford in the first set. Dumped over, picked up by Jenna Gray. McClure finishes.
What a scramble play by Jenna Gray, just flying out. She was not going to let that ball drop. These are the details. This is how you win a championship, not letting those kind of balls drop.
I feel like that ball drops on almost anybody else. Out, and Stanford keeps rolling on, hitting over 300 now, holding Bakersfield to negative numbers hitting.
One of the things you and I talked to Kevin Hambley about was, what do you focus on this time of year? You've had a great season. What do you focus on in practice? And he said the details, the little things, being ready in every situation. And so far, Stanford looks pretty sharp in that area.
Lutz again. It's an 8-0 Cardinal run.
Moretta Lutz had a little slow start offensively, but her defense has been fantastic. Her block set her up for that second kill.
You know, Holly, you're an NCAA championship setter. I played for a school who was kind of in the position of Bakersfield in this. We played against teams like Long Beach, who won the national championship. I feel for Bakersfield at this point in an 8-0 run. It's kind of, you want to hit the restart button. You're close to the end of set number 1. That's a big deficit to overcome.
It is, and they're playing an extremely talented, big, physical Stanford team. But Bakersfield, they're not afraid. I think they're going to keep coming at Stanford till the last ball drops.
For sure, and I'll tell you, I can tell from experience, when you get to that second set, there's a little bit of relief in terms of let's go again. It's fun to play against the best in the country. Bakersfield, nice swing down the line.
And if you want to beat the best, you have to play the best. And that's how you measure your level of play, and you continue to up the level of your play and push it.
Georgievich with the kill down the line. Bakersfield now Stanford at set point. Outside, McClure. Ball is up and wide. Stanford takes set number 1.
Megan McClure, the freshman, little roll shot. Too tough to handle.
Bakersfield got the first one out of the way. Maybe they've worked out the jitters. Stanford and Bakersfield square off in set number 2 in Maples Pavilion. Coming up next.
You're watching Pac-12 Bay Area, home of the Cal Bears and the Stanford Cardinal. Available on Xfinity.
Check this out, bro.
What's that, Brohim?
I switched to Geico and got more.
More savings on car insurance?
Yeah, Professor, and more. Like renter's insurance.
More ways to save. Nice, Brotated Chip.
That's not all protein shake. Geico has motorcycle and RV insurance, too.
Ooh, that's a lot more.
Oh, yeah. I'm all about more, Teddy Roosevelt.
Geico. Expect great savings and a whole lot more.
Tuesday, from the Players of the Year to the All Pac-12 team.
Thread the needle.
Find out who will be named the best of the West. Inside Pac-12 Football All-Conference Awards. Tuesday at 3 on Pac-12 Network.
For over a century, the Pac-12 has been a catalyst for collective excellence, an extraordinary blend of 12 unique universities. Combined, we elevate team chemistry to an art form as future leaders and global game changers. Pac-12, the Conference of Champions.
With Pac-12 Now, you've got 24/7 access to all 7 Pac-12 Network's channels.
Left footer of the goal!
Live events.
Touchdown, Washington!
Original programming on demand.
Hi, I'm Ashley. I'm back with you in our San Francisco studios.
With the ability to customize what you want to watch wherever you want to watch it. Set your teams, set your sports, and you're all set. Pac-12 Now. Download today.
Don't you worry, my child. Everything's going to be just fine. Little darling.
As kids fall in love with sports, our universities are working every day to keep college sports safe, so you can watch them play with a little less worry and a little more joy.
Pac-12 volleyball presented by Tashikar. Opening round of the NCAA tournament. Stanford took set number 1 over Cal State Bakersfield. Stanford's had quite a terrific season, of course, under first-year head coach Kevin Hambley.
26-3 overall. Pac-12 champions. Just one loss to Washington up in Seattle.
Yep, and if there's an NCAA tournament, Stanford is in it. Only Stanford and Penn State have been in every NCAA tournament since inception.
And Catherine the Great, Catherine Plummer, is something special when she steps on the volleyball court. Pac-12 Player of the Year, one of the best beach volleyball players as well in the world in her age group.
It's just unbelievable. Won medals in both indoor and beach before ever getting to college. As for Bakersfield, Holly, a 9-1 run for Stanford to end it. What went well for them, and what do they need to fix?
I like the way they came out. They came out fearless, gunning, serving the ball aggressive. They just need to find a way to side out. You can't let a team like Stanford roll. And if you look at the stat column, Bakersfield had 8 hitting errors, 7 Stanford blocks. So just 1 if they avoid the block.
Right.
So pass 1 and try and avoid that block and keep the ball in the court.
And looking at the rotation that Stanford's starting in now, Kevin Hambley has opted to start with Catherine Plummer at the service line. People just seeing Stanford for the first time think, wow, really? You're not going to have her in the front court? They don't know how efficient she is behind that service line.
She's the best point scorer from behind the line. Jenna Gray probably second, and Megan McClure third.
Triple block. Doors closed by the Cardinal.
Yeah, I think if you're Bakersfield, you want to spread the offense. You don't want to bring all those blockers together in the middle. Spread it before you bring the attacker into the middle of the court.
Yeah, and we talked about that at the Open, that Bakersfield's biggest hitters are in the middle, and that's really tough against a team like Stanford. Outside, McClure. Over. And I was just wondering we were going to see an overpass to Alade.
Tammy Alade having a fantastic season in the middle for Stanford, and she gets lots of opportunities like that, especially when Catherine Plummer's on the service line.
Yeah, that's the one you really got to watch for. The hard serve by Plummer that results in an overpass straight to an Alade kill. And you can see Bakersfield is struggling with Plummer's serve. Everybody does. Or most people do, I should say. To the back line.
Megan McClure way off the net, able to keep that ball in, tagging the back line for Stanford. Stanford doing no wrong right now.
Giovanna Mello, 4th season as director of volleyball for the Roadrunners. Tough service.
Catherine Plummer, she likes to go down that line, but this time going cross court into what you call area 1, where that server is in right back and just gets away from the passer, Desiree Sukkot.
Backcourt attack from the middle. And that gets Plummer off the line. A reason for the Roadrunners to come together.
How about that? Number 5, Georgievic from the back, going back to the right back position for the kill.
Sukkot serve right at Plummer. Middle, Alade elevates.
Perfect pass by Plummer, and Jenna Gray really confident getting that ball to Alade. And such a high contact point, really tough to stop defensively.
Adriana Fitzmaurice up front now in the middle. McClure on one side, Lutz will be on the other. Outside. That ball hit the antenna.
That time, Georgievic trying to avoid Moretta Lutz down the line, gets the antenna. If you're Bakersfield, I think you want to set the right side and go away from 6'8" Moretta Lutz.
I think their setter agrees with you on that delivery. And here is Lutz putting it down the line.
Moretta Lutz now in the second set looking more comfortable offensively, getting on top of the ball, good top spin. in transition, able to get her wide, and she's just attacking that line for Stanford.
I can remember when Lutz first arrived on campus here on the farm, and John Dunning saying to us that she recovers from mistakes very well. It was one of the first things he said to us about her. And there you see it, the way she started out a little slow in set one, completely distant memory at this point. She has been dominating.
And I think that's a really important skill for people to learn from a young age in sports. Next play, dwelling on an error is never going to help you. Megan McClure, another kill on the left side. She's got 5 kills on 10 swings, 0 hitting errors. Really doing a good job managing her offense against a strong defensive team.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, there's been no hitting errors for Stanford in this second set. Gray can go anywhere she wants, chooses Fitzmaurice.
Kevin Hamley talked about the slide play that Adriana Fitzmaurice runs at 6'6". She's got so much range, and that connection between Gray and Fitzmaurice really strong. She's been able to attack every part of the court.
Formico's serve is short.
Stanford trying to serve that ball short and disrupt the offensive patterns of Bakersfield.
6-2 offense switch for the Roadrunners as Andrade comes in to run the offense. Fabiana is a senior, composed and quiet, more leads by example as opposed to the more vocal wicks, according to Giovanna Mello. Fitzmaurice, high contact, chase down, Lopes gets a piece of it.
In the NCAA tournament, serve and pass is what it comes down to. Right now, Stanford's putting that ball right in Jenna Gray's hands, and they're serving the ball tough. So Bakersfield struggling to get a kill right now against the big block of Stanford.
Outside. The block is devastating for Stanford.
And Fitzmaurice really is the anchor on most of the blocks for Stanford, side to side. We talk about everybody else, but when I asked Kevin Hamley, tell me about Adriana Fitzmaurice, he's like, she cleans things up. She makes it look easy, and she really does.
Another service ace for Stanford.
And this is the rotation. I talked about Catherine Plummer serve, Jenna Gray's. Megan McClure is a very good serve as well.
9-point lead for the Cardinal in set number 2 as Stanford faces Cal State Bakersfield.
I'm Tara Vanderveer,
Right foot up.
women's basketball coach at Stanford University, and you're watching Pac-12 Bay Area.
Saturday, get ready for a full day of Pac-12 hoops with 5 back-to-back matchups. First at noon, we're starting the day in Cougar territory. Washington State, Oregon State, and Utah brawl non-conference opponents. And at sundown, Arizona State and Cal take on Golden State foes. Then, round out the evening with Mike Yam and a brand new episode of Final Score. Pac-12 men's basketball. Coverage tips off at 11:30 with a pregame show on Pac-12 Network.
She gives it all on the court.
Her hard work and dedication.
Her intensity, capability, shoot threes.
You do it!
And she can dunk.
Incredible student athletes denied by Moni.
She does a great job off the court by just being a great person, and she's definitely a role model to the players on her team.
What more do you want?
Opening round of the NCAA tournament presented by Atashi Kara. We are at Maples Pavilion, Stanford, leading Cal State Bakersfield. I'm Anne-Marie Anderson alongside 3-time Olympian Holly McPeak. We welcome those of you who have been watching Utah and Purdue. We apologize. We know there's some technical difficulties happening out there, and so we have decided to bring you over and watch this match for the 3rd-seeded Stanford Cardinal in their opening round of the NCAA tournament against Cal State Bakersfield. Outside, Plummer, tip. Oh no, player down for the Roadrunners as Haley Roberts, one of their middles, hit the floor.
I'm not sure if she landed on somebody, but either ankle or knee.
As Haley Roberts is being helped off, she's in the middle front. And you see that right foot roll.
Yeah, it looked like ankle, trying to close that block gap.
So Haley Roberts, a redshirt senior, one of the people that we talked about in the Open. She graduated from Hawaii Hilo and's been working on her master's. Allie Barber in now, number 4. Came in relief. Plummer turns it down the line. Well dug by Andrade. Uh-oh, that's a tight ball for anybody but Plummer. And she does flip the net.
Catherine Plummer tried to get her feet there, but that's a scary play when that ball goes towards the net. You know, if you do not want to leave the ground this time, gets the bottom of the net.
Georgievich serving for Bakersfield. They trail by 9. And a service ace as she goes in the seam between 2 freshmen.
Alexandra Georgievich, number 5, such great passion. Giovanna Mello talks about the passion she brings to the court. This time, a nice floater right between the 2 serve-receive players for Stanford.
Formico and McClure, hence moving everybody over a ways. Got McClure a second time.
Megan McClure is just a freshman. She's a fantastic passer. That ball has a lot of pace coming from Georgievic. Good pace down the line, catches McClure high on the second ball.
To tell you how important Georgievich is to this team, she had 95 kills in her first year with the team, over 190 coming into this match this year. Georgievich, an impact player for the Roadrunners.
That time, third time's a charm. Megan McClure delivers the pass, and Fitzmaurice leading Stanford 6 kills on 6 swings, getting that nice isolation, 1-on-1.
Sydney Wilson in for the Stanford for the first time, serving. Door closed by Plummer and Alade. Alade makes the cross-court trip. Uh-oh, big swing from Plummer. Wilson handles the first ball, and Gray calls her own number.
Great heads-up play by Jenna Gray, and she's got huge weapons, Tammy Alade, Catherine Plummer, so if you're Bakersfield, you're focused on them. You forget about the setter. Setter gets that ball to drop right in the middle of the court.
Wilson continuing to serve. Kevin Hamley going down and talking to his bench. Outside. And net violation on Stanford again.
Cal State Bakersfield, Madison DeGarbo, number 15, doing a good job getting some defensive block touches on Catherine Plummer, slowing her offense down, and Bakersfield able to transition for points.
Lopes serving. Another senior came in as a setter, transition to libero. That ball off the hands.
Heads up play, ball trickles off the net. Jenna Gray steps in, passes it. Megan McClure not afraid to step in and put up a hittable ball for Plummer.
Jenna Gray serving.
Cal State Bakersfield celebrates getting Jenna Gray off the line and a chance to score some points of their own defensively.
As they should, as Cal State Bakersfield now having their 6'2" setter switch. Sydney Wicks, a redshirt sophomore out of Aurora, Colorado. Fiery, according to Giovanna Mello. Quick. Outside to Plummer. and off the hands of Hernandez, or excuse me, of Haynes.
Cal State Bakersfield making some great defensive plays. Even there, you see Sydney Haynes trying to make a kick to cover that play, doing whatever it takes to keep the ball alive.
This is the rotation, whereas you're receiving serve, you want to take a deep breath. Catherine Plummer behind the service line ended the first set with a big run. Got a break from Plummer.
Back-to-back service errors for Stanford. Yes, Bakersfield can relax. And they're going to try and return the favor, put some pressure on Stanford.
Michaela Keefe receiving serve in the backcourt for Stanford, number 8. Back to Lutz. Keefe outside. Well-placed tip.
All season long, Stanford has been using Megan McClure or Michaela Keefe. Megan McClure a lot more recently, but Michaela Keefe brings some length at 6'2" to the front line, getting some good playing time here tonight.
Holly, do you remember your run to the national championship that year?
Yes.
Because I'm wondering, it looks like Kevin Hambley now getting a lot of people involved here late in this set. You need to keep people involved. I'm wondering how much your lineup changed.
Well, our lineup stayed the same, but you want to keep your whole team involved, invested in whether it's scouting, whether it's training, whether it's going through the scout practice. Every part of that team was important. It wasn't just the 6 that were on the court.
Because now we see Courtney Bowen in, Michaela Keefe in, Sydney Wilson has been in.
And getting confidence and getting some playing time during the NCAA tournament, you want to feel comfortable. I like what Bakersfield's doing. They're serving into traffic this short part of the court where Courtney Bowen is waiting in serve receive.
Haynes serving. Bowen takes the first ball. Lutz behind the setter with a kill.
Did you see the quick feet of Moretta Lutz just tiptoeing along the net, number 17 in white? What an athlete.
The front row here that Stanford doesn't usually have up front. Michaela Keefe, Courtney Bowen alongside Jenna Gray. So 2 hitting options. Plummer, of course, in the backcourt as well. Bowen out of the middle as the Cardinal celebrates.
Courtney Bowen's a long body in the middle for Stanford. This is the play I was talking about. It was close to the net, and Moretta Lutz just walking that tightrope to stay out of the net. Good body control.
9-point lead for the Cardinal in set number 2. Opening round of the NCAA tournament, Pac-12 volleyball presented by Tashikara.
I think Kevin Hambley's doing a good thing, getting these players some playing time. You never know when someone's going to either get sick, get injured. You just never know, and you want the rest of your team ready to go and fill in. So they're fully invested.
He's got smart players, in fact, right? Pac-12 all-academic team. Michaela Keefe, who we're talking about, number 80, just came in. First team all-academic in the very tough Pac-12 conference.
And then honorable mention, first of all, you're at Stanford.
You're
pretty
Stanford.
Smart.
Yeah.
Moretta Lutz, Tammy Alade, Adriana Fitzmaurice, Jenna Gray, Morgan Hentz, and Catherine Plummer, all honorable mention. Well, being the best volleyball team in the country.
You think they're competitive in the classroom too?
I think so.
Darn right they are. That's what they do. Student athletes. Student comes first for a reason, and Stanford certainly knows it. But for Kevin Hambley, back to your point, that's part of keeping your athletes invested as well, right? These are athletes who understand their role on the team, understand they wouldn't be here if they didn't have something to contribute. Michaela Keefe, Courtney Bowen on the court right now, 2 who have contributed during the regular season at key moments.
Definitely. Michaela Keefe worked really hard to get fit. She had some back injuries the last couple of years, but she's the most fit she's been in a long time. She's healthy. And then Courtney Bowen was in a boot earlier this season. She's healthy again, too. And she's an asset if they can use her.
That's her twin sister, Caitlin Keefe, dancing and enjoying herself. Michaela and Caitlin Keefe, kind of athletic royalty to a degree. Back.
How about that? Brianna Mariner hammers it down the line, just missing wide, but good looking aggressive swing You talked about the Keith twins. I played against their mom, Kristen Klein, who was one of the best that Stanford's ever had. Great competitor. And their dad, Adam Keith, a basketball player here and in the NBA.
Outside. Door closed by Bowen and Gray. Oh, that's a tough one. Only Morgan Hentz gets that up. Whoa, quick reactions all over the Cardinal. Bakersfield fighting hard. And use of the block, a kill point, Roadrunners.
I love the effort on both sides of the net. Courtney Bowen getting down, everybody laying it out, trying to keep that ball alive. But Brianna Mariner, beautiful kill off the block for Cal State Bakersfield.
I love what Bakersfield is doing in terms of energy and effort. Ball after ball coming up. Second ever NCAA tournament appearance. Keefe unloads.
Beautiful kill down the line, and Jenna Gray takes that ball from 8 feet off the net and pushes it to a great location, always bettering the ball. And, you know, she makes it look easy. That's a really important role of a setter, putting up hittable balls.
So Michaela Keefe played through the front court, but Coach Hambly brought in Megan McClure for the backcourt again, something he told us at the beginning of the season. She's always going to play in the backcourt, he said, because despite those couple of service bobbles there, service errors, she's just so smart defensively.
Megan McClure is a fantastic defensive player. She's got a great serve, one of the best passers on the Stanford team, and digs a ton of balls.
Off the hands of Plummer. She didn't like to get used like that.
No, and Alexandra Georgievich getting creative offensively. When you can't go over the top, go over off and over to the side.
Yeah, and you can very rarely go over the top of Catherine Plummer.
Never.
Gray delivers to Bowen. Again, they haven't had a ton of reps together in gameplay.
No, but I like that Jenna Gray's trying to get Courtney Bowen that confidence. And Courtney Bowen is long, so Jenna Gray put that ball up high so Bowen could get up and get it. Just a misconnection in terms of timing.
Plummer off the block. Roadrunners get it up. Ball is long, and it is set point Stanford. Coming up after this set, we're going to send you to our Pac-12 intermission report in our Pac-12 studios. Chris Francis will be talking about Michaela Keefe and the other all-academic players. And, of course, the women's volleyball program, 9 of them in the NCAA tournament. Who advanced, who didn't? Chris Francis in studio. Ball is long, nice, and ball is deep, nice kill.
Desiree Sukov, number 6 in blue. Just a smart swing to the corner for Cal State Bakersfield.
Set point. Gray, back to Lutz. Hentz puts up another ball for Lutz out of system. And Stanford wins the second set on a block.
The story has been the block of Stanford, and they finished the second set victory with a big one.
Stanford hit 464 in the second set. They had 3 blocks to add to their 7 in the first.
And they're holding Cal State Bakersfield to negative offensive numbers.
Taking a look at your kill leaders, Catherine Plummer with 6, Fitzmaurice with 6, and McClure on the outside with 5.
Audrina Fitzmaurice is actually batting 1,000. She's 6'4" with 5 blocks.
Kevin Hambly joining us now, head coach of Stanford. Coach, we see you getting different people involved in the second set. Will we see a few different things in third as well, or what's the plan?
We'll see how it goes. If it starts like it did in the first set, maybe not. But I thought we were playing pretty well. We felt like we were in control defensively, and so I tried some kids and put them out there, which was fun to see.
What would you like to see in the third set from your team?
For my team, I'd like to see us play clean and pass better. Is that what you're asking, like from a performance standpoint?
Yes.
Yeah, for us to play cleaner and pass better. I mean, we hit a high number, but I wouldn't say we have great rhythm. We're taking advantage of our size a little bit more as opposed to really playing at a high level, and so I'd like to see us play clean.
Thank you so much for joining us, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
When we come back on the other side of this break, we're going to send you to Chris Francis for the Pac-12 Intermission Report in our Pac-12 Network studios. Stanford and Bakersfield, that's just one of 9 Pac-12 matches underway this weekend. Field 2 sets to none. Giovanna Mello joining us now. Coach, what do you need your team to do in this third set?
Honestly, I need them to play a little bit more relaxed and just play our normal game. We're very tensed right now. We're not playing the best that we are capable of.
Is there anything that was working for you at certain points of the match you'd like to see more of?
Just taking good swings, going high hands, and just taking the shots that we know how to take. We're just kind of tentative right now and playing a little bit afraid.
Thank you so much for joining us, Coach.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Let's take a look at our Tashikara scoreboard update. Those of you who are watching Pac-12 Mountain, you're going to be staying with us through the end of the match. We apologize for the technical difficulties there. Utah beat Purdue. It was an epic comeback in the 4th set. Purdue was leading 20-15. Adora and I turned on the Jets, and they came back tied 24-24. They won 27-25.
Wow, impressive performance by Adora and I. We know she could dominate a match. Good win for Utah. That's one of the matches we've been looking at all day long.
And let's take a look from this match. Catherine Plummer.
Pac-12 Player of the Year, 2 big kills in transition, bringing the heat from the left side. And then Adriana Fitzmaurice, she has been unstoppable, both blocking and then hitting. 6 for 6, good transition kill right down the middle for Stanford.
Stanford out-blocking Cal State Bakersfield 10.5 to 1.
And the hitting percentage for Stanford, it started a little bit low, but then, boy, the foot's on the gas, hitting .431. You heard what Kevin Hambley said. He wants them to play a little cleaner, make some better connections offensively.
Meanwhile, for Giovanna Mello, I hear her when she says that they're playing tight, but we've also seen some really great smiles and efforts from these Bakersfield players who are pursuing every ball relentlessly.
I feel the energy from Bakersfield. I think Stanford's making some good plays. It's hard not to get down. You want to keep staying aggressive if you're Cal State Bakersfield.
Let's put the ball in the air for the 3rd set. Wicks starting serving this set. So you're aware that Andrade started serving and setting in the first 2, so they made a change spin in the dial. They set Tammy Alade.
Tammy Alade, so confident offensively, good range. She's quick off the floor. Middle blocker was up with her, and then somebody was on the way down, and she took advantage.
Nice delivery back to Djordjevic. McClure has to stay behind it, looking for that deep corner. Right through the triple block, kill.
Sydney Haynes in transition. Out of the middle, they run a second tempo ball. Watch Catherine Plummer at 6'6" lay it down to keep that ball alive for Stanford.
Well, and that's what we talk about, right? Her serving, her defensive engagement all the time. She's certainly an offensive weapon from the backcourt as well. Wicks talking, the vocal leader.
And we talked about that at the top of the show. Get Sydney Haynes the ball, and when Bakersfield gets a good pass, they are running her. Even if it's a second tempo ball, Sydney Haynes knows what to do with it.
Sydney Haynes is the only player that Mello has had for 4 years. She won a WAC championship her freshman season. She's a redshirt senior. Second team all-conference is Haynes.
How about Moretta Lutz laying it down, 6'8". Got a good touch on it, but nobody else on Stanford's team.
Jenna Gray pulled off the net. Again, not the clean passing that Kevin Hambley wants. Roadrunners getting everything up to the middle. Alade again.
A little bit of a low set to Tammy Alade, but she's able to cycle her arm through that ball and get it down in the middle.
Triple block closed.
Stanford's trying to make Sydney Haynes pass the ball, which usually will take you out of the offense, but they're still trying to set her the ball, and setting her into that big triple block anchored by Adriana Fitzmaurice is a bad idea.
Net violation on Sydney Wick's kind of left arm as she was trying to set that ball.
That ball passed too tight into the net. If you're Cal State Bakersfield, you look at the Stanford front line, you've got 6'6", 6'8", and 6'1". So you want to set to the right side of the court, which is Megan McClure's side.
And the play fell apart there on Bakersfield's side.
It starts with ball control. Bakersfield needs to pass the ball to put themselves in a good position to run their offense. If they get out of system, everything falls apart.
Morgan Hentz serving. Haynes passing, and then to the other side as they use the block of Fitzmaurice and McClure.
Good offensive decision. Go attack the smallest blocker in the front court for Stanford. And that time, Brown to Mariner, the lefty, tooling the block of Megan McClure.
Fitzmaurice just turns, makes it look so smooth.
I feel like this last part of the season, Adriana Fitzmaurice has really emerged. I think she just seems more confident offensively. That connection between she and Gray, mixing up the set. She goes off 1 foot a lot this time, attacking the seam between the two blockers from Bakersfield.
And what a mentor Fitzmaurice had her freshman year with Inky Anjanaku in the middle on the other spot. You know, Courtney Bowen and Tammy Alade both kind of chomping at the bit to get in as well. I mean, it's really talented middles for Stanford.
How about that kill out of the back row, down the line by Catherine Plummer. I had to double check because I'm like, wait, she's back row, but watch this. She's behind the 3-meter line and hits that ball as good as anybody from the front line, wrist away. Kate Formico, good player in the back row for Stanford, but she's been missing a lot of serves, and that opens the door for Sydney Wilson to come in, possibly in the next rotation, that she gets a chance to serve.
Well, the serve game has just really elevated for all the teams at the end of the season. And so, you know, in talking with Kevin Hambley today, he was telling you and I that when they played Washington, when they lost that one conference match this year, he said, we haven't faced another team that served like that all season long. Each person was devastating with their serve on the Huskers team.
All 6 rotations. And that's what Keegan Cook studies. They look at the numbers. How can we get better in this rotation? And that's what Kevin Hambley's doing for Stanford. It's not just about your offense, but it's also about how you score points from the back line.
Yeah, to your point, that's why Catherine Plummer is so effective, because she has great serving, taking people out of system, as you saw in the end of the first set, big run. Bakersfield error, and it feels now like all the points are being scored by both teams on the other's error, on their opponent's errors.
Yeah, it appears that way, but if you're Bakersfield, you look at the front line, you've got Catherine Plummer 6'6", Adriana Fitzmaurice 6'6", you set towards Jenna Gray at 6'1".
Plummer, oh, she just crushed, and it was dug by Sukoff. That's a dig you remember.
Can you talk about that? I mean, Desiree Sukoff, she is not afraid stepping inside the block, hands up, little bit of self-defense, but great ball control, kept it in the court. Catherine Plummer brings the heat. Look at number 6 on the left side of your screen. With control, keeps it in the court. Wow. Number 6 in blue, beautiful play.
And then she went back and blocked on the other side. I shudder to think if anybody has slow hands in that situation, because Plummer was mad at that ball.
KO.
5-point lead for the Cardinal in set number 3. Bakersfield fighting hard. Great defense by the Roadrunners.
Experience, there are only 2 things guaranteed to grow. The cash value of your New York Life policy, a policy that keeps your family protected, and my famous crane souffle, which literally never stopped growing. Be good at life. New York Life.
Dental professionals recommend using an electric toothbrush. In a recently published clinical study, Philips Sonicare Diamond Clean removed up to 82% more plaque than Oral-B 7000. Philips Sonicare. Save when you switch now.
Know what makes retirement less scary? Getting a check every month. With an income annuity from New York Life, you pay some money up front and then get checks for the rest of your life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 checks. Be good at life, New York Life.
When you guys take ownership of the football team, you can't be beat. When the players take ownership of the football team and hold yourself to a high standard, you can't be beat.
This is the NCAA tournament presented by Tashi Kara, set number 3. Stanford on their home floor, the 3rd seed in this tournament. Well, and here's why. They won their 17th championship during the Pac-10-12 era. They are the defending NCAA champions. They have had another banner season. Megan McClure serving for Stanford. It's a 3-0 serving run for the Cardinal before the timeout. Outside, Sukov.
Desiree Sukov trying to avoid the block of Fitzmaurice, trying to hit its sharper angle, does not get a piece of the block.
Back. Fitzmaurice using the block of Sukov.
Desiree Sukov making some good plays over the net for Cal State Bakersfield, but Adriana Fitzmaurice puts pace on it, using the blocker's hands out of bounds. Fitzmaurice, 10 kills on 11 swings, 0 errors for Stanford.
Ball coming back, and that's what Fitzmaurice does, just waits and builds a wall.
She cleans it up. Good side-to-side, nice eye work, good hand work over the net. She does a good job sealing so those balls don't sneak through.
It's now a 6-0 run behind the serve of Megan McClure. Djordjevic backcourt. Plummer tries a little tenderness, changing speeds.
Jenna Gray has lots of offensive options, but this time, perfect pass, throws the ball down right to the middle of the court.
Timeout, Bakersfield.
This Pac-12 women's volleyball match has been brought to you by Tashi Kara. We've got the ball, you bring the game. 3rd set action, 9-point lead by Stanford. And Stanford does well in the NCAA tournament. They and Penn State are the only 2 teams that have been in every NCAA tournament since inception.
And Stanford with 7 NCAA titles, defending title. They won that all last year with a bunch of freshmen and Inky Ajanaku. They have 15 NCAA championship matches that they've competed in.
They hope to get back there again. We asked Kevin Hambley at the very beginning of the year, kind of, what are the goals for this team? Asked if it was the Pac-12 championship, and he said simply, this group won't be satisfied with anything less than repeating. Stanford has not been afraid to see it. There you see the banners. They're going to add another championship of the conference there as they won again this season.
And if that's what your team's expectations are, what do you need to do as a coach? How are you going to make them better?
Most of the time when you see a new coach come in, it's in a program that's building a program that has had maybe some disruption, perhaps. Very rarely do you have a coach come into a program that's defending national champions, and that seems like it would be a very difficult spot as well.
And lots of talent, young talent, sophomores.
Kevin Hambly took Illinois to the championship match in 2011, where the Illini fell to the UCLA Bruins in the final.
Speaking of Illinois, Illinois beat Hawaii tonight in 5 sets. That's another match we're keeping our eye on. That's the former team of Kevin Hambly, and he thought they could do a good job winning that match tonight.
Yeah, the Big Ten had 8 teams come into the NCAA tournament. The Pac-12 had 9 teams to the top conferences in the nation, and we know that Purdue fell to Utah, and that Michigan lost to Colorado State earlier today here. So some of the Big Ten teams falling early.
And Purdue to Utah.
Yeah, I said that one, but didn't Michigan State lose to Mizzou too?
Missouri beat Kansas.
Oh, Kansas, that's right. It's a lot of teams.
A lot of teams. Megan McClure, number 4 in white, serving the ball really well. She gets good pace on this ball, lots of movement.
Yeah, a 9-0 serving run for McClure. What a delivery. That's clean volleyball.
Jenna Gray, she elevates that ball, really tight to the net. She gets there, isolates Catherine Plummer, who one-on-one, tough to stop. Look at this. The block is late, and she just hammers it down for Stanford.
That's one where every other human looks at it and says, why doesn't my body do that? Jenna Gray, the delivery on that set, too. Sukoff swings. Fitzmaurice and Gray rolling.
In the block, Bakersfield staying in some of the rallies, but as the rally goes on, the block of Stanford takes over, and most of them coming from Adriana Fitzmaurice and company.
Well, we saw that a couple of weeks ago here at Maples Pavilion with USC and then UCLA. The first effort, the second effort would come back from UCLA and USC, but the block was just devastating of the Cardinal. A service error is the way that 11-0 run ends.
And those are the type of runs, if you're Cal State Bakersfield, you have to avoid. You need to maybe 1, 2, 3, but you have to stop the bleeding at that point and get a side-out point.
Krista Hernandez, a freshman from Culver City, California, defensive specialist serving. Outside. Nice dig by Lopes. Heat from the fiery Georgievich.
Georgievich has had some pretty kills. Number 5 this time with the cross-court kill for Bakersfield, giving her team some energy.
Off hands, Lopes passes. Andrade out to Georgievich, going with what works. Gray. And a double called on the early contact.
Cal State Bakersfield making some good digs, staying in that rally, allowing themselves to score 2 real points off their serve.
We asked Kevin Hambly earlier today, how far is he looking ahead? And he said not far. He said he thinks of it as like 3 mini 4-team tournaments. Tomorrow, he knows that if his team advances, they will face Colorado State. He looked at Colorado State and Michigan.
Yeah, and I think that's important. You don't want to look past tonight and tomorrow. That's your little bracket. And then next week, you'll have a new bracket of 4 teams. And then, obviously, the national semifinals, the last bracket of 4 teams.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about it and I'm wondering, is Beth Lanier watching this now that they beat Purdue? Probably not. They probably are just digging into the rest of their bracket.
I think it's really important to be focused on your task at hand, because you can't control what anybody else is doing, and you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it was a fun conversation with Kevin Hambly. I liked when you asked him what he does to de-stress. And he said, don't really do anything other than if I'm sleeping and I'm trying to figure out how to get out of row 6, I get up and I watch row 6 and I figure it out and I go back to bed. The stress from these coaches as Lutz unloads.
It's a tough job, I feel like, and he talked about his wife wanting him to have some way of de-stressing, but it's good to have something other than working. Maybe a little exercise, or I don't know, a bike ride, or in our case, eating.
Yeah, eating your way through it. The block of Stanford continues to dominate. 15 blocks in this match.
That slower tempo ball into 3 gigantic, and when I mean gigantic, I mean gigantic. 6'5", 6'6", 6'8". You want to go wide to the pins, make them move.
That is just a devastating block.
Yes, it is. I think it's one of the biggest blocks in the country, no doubt. It has to be.
Yep, and Courtney Bowen coming in late in the season now that she's healthy, specifically for her blocking. She comes in and does her job very well. Lutz getting behind it.
Alexandra Georgievich, number 5 in blue. She snuck that low, kind of under in by Catherine Plummer, who was kind of reaching in to close it, just sneaking that down.
Yeah, she's had 7 kills, 7 digs, 2 service aces.
That ball passed tight to the net. Jenna Gray trying to get there and set it, steps under that middle line. You're not allowed to cross under it because of obviously safety precautions. Bakersfield gets the point.
Wow, Catherine Plummer. Heat coming, that's her 9th kill.
You hear the pop on the ball, the power from Catherine Plummer. She makes it look effortless. She just gets her feet to the ball. It's such a pretty thing to watch. Good technical footwork.
Yeah, she's very efficient. There's no wasted movement. We were watching that. It's just together and going up.
And she doesn't get lazy. At 6'6", she's got a lot of offensive range, but she gets her feet there and works every play. Another real point for Cal State Bakersfield. And when I mean real, they're serving the ball and scoring a point off their defense.
This Bakersfield team is engaged. Georgievich behind the service line. Good heat on the serve. Jenna Gray goes to McClure. Ball is long. Point, Roadrunners.
That time, Brianna Mariner, number 10, able to get that ball. The lefty on the right side. Another point for Bakersfield. Kevin Hamley putting some new players. Caitlin Keefe in the back row for Stanford, getting some playing time.
Lutz off the block. Georgievich passes. Bowen connects.
I wanted to see that good connection from Jenna Gray to Courtney Bowen. Get her confident using her offense. She's in there to block balls, but she's long and able to put that ball away. Look at the angle of Courtney Bowen.
Back. Straight down in the face.
Another Bakersfield point, fighting hard. Couple more points left in their season.
And Alexis Troystad now up front for Stanford as well, part of that block. Chase down. What an effort.
Great hustle, great energy by Bakersfield. Not enough to get it over the net, but we've got players coming off the bench, getting some playing time for Stanford. Moretta Lutz hammered. That was her hardest swing of the night for Stanford.
Bakersfield actually are the Roadrunners as they run through that one. Blake Sharp serving match point for Stanford. Through the block.
Bakersfield not going away. Brianna Mariner with the kill. Staying aggressive, and that's what Giovanna Mello wanted to see from them, aggressive swings.
It remains match point for Stanford. Andrade serving. Bakersfield got here by winning the tournament championship, upsetting New Mexico State in the semifinal. Playing Stanford for the second time in their second NCAA tournament appearance. And a big kill. Bailey Smith knocks it down.
Bakersfield not going away, staying with an aggressive serve by Fabiana Andrade, a senior setter from Brazil, #1.
Third match point for Stanford. Crowd standing in Maples Pavilion. Ball over and out, and that will do it. Stanford will advance and play Colorado State tomorrow in the second round of the NCAA tournament.
Great effort by Bakersfield, but Stanford too much tonight, and lots of players got some playing time. This time, Alexis Froisted gets a kill to end the match for Stanford.
Stanford hit .394 on the set and .417 in the match. Holly, again, it was blocking for them. 15.5 blocks in this match.
My name is...
Under their belt, Stanford has swept Cal State Bakersfield. Jenna Gray, the setter for the Stanford Cardinal, joining us now. Jenna, getting that first one out of the way is always important. What do you take away from today's match?
Yeah, it's always a relief getting the first one over with. I think it's nice to get the jitters out, especially for the freshmen. It's their first time experiencing the NCAA tournament. That was me last year. I think our opponents, they were great. They brought a lot of energy. It was a really fun match to play.
How different is it this year as a sophomore, going through what you did last year? How does it feel different to you?
I kind of understand what's going on now. There's a little more comfort in knowing what's ahead, but also understanding how hard it is. I think last year it was kind of ignorance is bliss, so we were just coming in and like, oh yeah, it's easy to do, but we're definitely focused and we're ready to fight.
Well, we gave you about that much time to celebrate the win, because tomorrow you're going to be facing Colorado State. I know you guys watched some of that match. What does your team need to do better tomorrow than they did today?
I think just the biggest key is the pass and serve game. We can always do better at putting service pressure on our opponents and staying in system. And I think if we can do that, then we'll play a great match.
How important is that connection? I feel like between you and Adriana Fitzmaurice, it's better than it's ever been. How important is that connection between you and both your middle attackers?
Oh, it's so important. In big matches, you always want to find your middles. I think the middle attacker is the hardest to block. So it's been really great. I'm going on year 6 with Adriana. Year 2 with Tammy, so I'm really excited about them.
Thank you for joining us, Jenna. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at the bracket as Jenna goes back and joins her team. The third seed Stanford will face Colorado State tomorrow, and Wisconsin and Iowa State to finish out this quadrant of the bracket. It's just the beginning, the opening weekend of NCAA women's volleyball.
First and second round, Stanford, Colorado State is long. They've got a lot of size. It's going to be a fun matchup.
Catherine Plummer, Adriana Fitzmaurice, and Moretta Lutz, the usual suspects in the lineup for the kill leaders for the Cardinal.
And Adriana Fitzmaurice is playing the best volleyball of her season so far, putting up 10 kills, hitting .833, and then 8 blocks, both sides of the ball. Fantastic performance.
15.5 blocks for the Cardinal in this match. Holly, that is undeniably their identity.
No, well, I think it's two things. I think it's tough serving, especially in those 3 rotations we talked about, and the block game.
Gun is dug.
Stanford gets the jitters out, as Jenna Gray put it, with a first-round win over Cal State Bakersfield. Tomorrow, the Cardinal will face the Rams of Colorado State. From my partner Holly McPeak and our fantastic Pac-12 crew. I'm Anne-Marie Anderson saying so long from now from Maples. We hope you'll join us again tomorrow on Pac-12 Network. Cardinals, Rams.